Hi, and welcome to How to Create a Video Biography webinar part 2. My name is Steven and I will be your host. So who is this webinar for? It's for those that are curious, just wanting more information about what a video biography is. It's for those looking to have a video done themselves or for a family member. It's for those that are going to create their own biography. You have the tools, the computer, the equipment. You just need a little further direction. And then it's for those that watched part 1 of this webinar series. Now, if you have not seen the first part, I suggest you do before continuing. In part 1 of this webinar series, we discussed collecting what you needed to prepare for creating a project. In part 2, we are going to now discuss capturing what you need. So we'll give examples of how to conduct an interview, show you how to use the equipment, lighting, some do's and don'ts of interviews, and scanning your photos and images. So as a quick recap with equipment, it doesn't matter what you use to record your interviews with. You can use a camcorder, a DSLR, a point-and-shoot camera. You can even use a smartphone. As long as it records sound and moving images, you're fine. So when you're setting up your camera or whatever your recording device may be, first, you want to set your white balance to manual. Second, you want to set your focus to manual. And third, you want to make sure you are recording in the highest quality and aspect ratio. So let's talk about composition. The first method is to have the camera in front of your subject, maybe about 5 feet away, and they will talk directly into the camera. The second method is to have the camera slightly off to the side at an angle, and so your subject is actually talking to someone that is next to the camera. This creates a little bit more interesting composition. So let's talk about the rule of thirds and how it relates to composition. As an example, here I am from a few years ago in Iowa, and I'm going to overlay some lines on it, and you can tell that I am intersecting the lines where my eye level is, my head, the fact that I am facing or looking towards the empty space. Aesthetically, it looks more pleasing. First, you want to place your main or your key light where it illuminates your subject the most. Typically, this is off to one side of where you are sitting, preferably a few feet behind you. So for sound, you want to make sure you use an external microphone. That will be the best quality. Get it as close to your subject as possible. And also, be mindful of where you are placing your lighting, your sound, your microphones. Don't cross any wires, and try not to cause any additional shadows. Okay, so let's look at some lighting basics. So you have your camera set up. In this example, it's going to be set up in the rule of thirds, but you can also have it directly in front of your subject. Your main light or your key light needs to be off to one side of your camera. So for the interview, you want to record or film in an area that is comfortable for the person you're interviewing, such as their home. When I do professional video biographies, I always go to my client's house. The next thing you want to keep in mind is filming in blocks of time. It can take some people a few minutes to warm up and really start being comfortable speaking in front of a camera. The last thing to remember is don't interrupt your subject. Give them time to answer the question. So for your photos and slides, you want to scan those at 150% greater image size than the original. You want to scan at 300 dpi, which is dots per inch. Also, regardless of what you are scanning, you want to try and leave a little extra spacing on all of the sides. Always scan more than you need. So the last thing I want to talk about is professional assistance, doing it yourself or hiring someone to assist you. Post-production is very time-consuming. Post-production involves watching your footage, making notes, importing that footage into an editing software, trimming it down, touching up your photos, finding music to fit the mood, sound mixing, export your finished video,